Hello, Gaudi class. In our history today, we're going to look at the history of space travel. You're going to need a pencil and a paper, and on occasions it asks you to talk to your partner. My partner today is my teddy bear. So first of all, what do you think space travel is? Tell your partner what you think what space travel is. Pause the video if you need longer. So space travel is about going up beyond the Earth and finding out what's in space. How do we know what's beyond the Earth? So how do we know that the Earth is a planet? And how do we know that it's a sphere? The answer to this is because humans have researched space and have made stupendous discoveries through space travel, amazing discoveries, by being able to go up into space. Scientists who study space are called astronomers. 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 So, the space race. During the 1940s and to 1960s, that's about 80 years ago, the USA, America, and the USSR, which doesn't exist anymore and is now Russia, were extremely excited to learn about space. So much so that both countries were in a race against each other to see who would complete the first successful space mission, who would be the first people to actually manage to get into space. Space travel was extremely dangerous. It still is. And nothing of this sort had ever happened in the history of the planet. The USA were the first country to lead a successful space mission. Have a think. Who do you think was the first? Who do you think was aboard the first spacecraft? That's actually a bit of a cheeky question. It wasn't a who, it was a what. In 1947, the first being to enter space were actually fruit flies. If you're not sure what a fruit fly looks like, leave a half-eaten apple or a banana lying around and see what comes to eat it. Those are fruit flies. Animals were sent into space before humans, so they were used as test subjects to see if a living creature could survive space travel. Animal astronauts led scientists to understand about the harsh environment of space, how horrible it was and how difficult it was to actually live up there or survive up there. So these are some animal astronauts that went into space. So the first one, the Americans sent fruit flies into space in 1947. And then in 1949, the Russians sent a monkey into space. He was called Albert II. And then 8 years later, in 1957, they sent a dog into space called Laika. Not to be outdone, in 1959, 2 years after that, the Americans sent Abel and Baker, who were monkeys, into space. And they were the first animals to survive a space mission. The next year, the Russians sent Belka and Strelka, and they went with a rabbit, so they were two dogs, who went with a rabbit, 42 mice, 2 rats, and some flies, and they all survived. And finally, in 1961, the USA, the Americans, sent Ham the chimp into space. Now it's your turn. So I've got some really tough questions for you to think about today. How do you feel about animals being sent into space? So you can write your answer on a piece of paper, or you could ask somebody to record them. Do you think it was a good idea that they sent animals first? Do you think it wasn't very nice for the animals? What do you think? Question 2. Would you have preferred humans to go into space first? So that's a nice yes or no question, but why? So if it's yes, why would you have wanted humans to go into space first? And if it's no, why were you pleased that animals went into space first? So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write your opinion down on any piece of paper, or just tell somebody your opinion and get them to record you and then upload that onto Tapestry for me.